All right, what's going on, everybody? Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Dan Tanner here for In the Paint, reacting to Nuggets and Cavs for a live watch along. We've got 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go, and the Nuggets have a 111 to 104 lead as the Cavs just hit a three. So they're making this a game 111 to 107. The Nuggets are trying to hang on to this one. The Cavs are 5 for 11 here in the fourth quarter. Nuggets just 3 of 9. And we'll see if the Nuggets can hang on. The Nuggets did just win a challenge. Jonas Valanciunas was called for an offensive foul on Jarrett Allen. Adelman challenges, and they deemed it was a foul on Allen before the offensive foul on Valanciunas because he did clip him with his elbow, but Allen got his shoulder, said the referee before. So good challenge there from David Adelman. We'll see if the Nuggets can pull this one out with a 4-point lead. Speaking of Jarrett Allen, he just drove to the lane, missed the shot, but did get fouled by Big Val and will head to the line. So we'll see if the Nuggets can hang on here against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Allen's had a really good game, 17 points on 8 of 14 shooting and 11 rebounds as the Nuggets look to hold on and win these two games at home before they go to the All-Star break. So trying to get to the All-Star break on a high note. Allen hits the first free throw. Cavs will call a timeout. So it's a 3-point game with 3:24 to go. Boy, the Nuggets never make these games easy, do they? All of these games over the past couple of months, it feels like, are just coming down to the wire. Besides the game the other night in Chicago where the Nuggets beat the Bulls by 16 in that one. So really entertaining game tonight. I thought the third quarter was just mired in fouls and free throws. It was a slog getting through that third quarter. Really good pace to this game in the first half, I thought. But that third quarter, things just almost ground to a halt with all of the fouls being called in that third quarter. I mean, both teams were in the bonus pretty early on. And, you know, when you have James Harden in there, boy, does he get fouled a lot. And he has been to the line quite often tonight. So really good game from Donovan Mitchell tonight for the Cavs. Let's see. Mitchell is up to 28 points on 10 of 21 shooting, 3 of 10 from 3. So not super efficient from Donovan Mitchell, but he has been effective scoring the basketball. I think the Nuggets have actually done a pretty good job defensively on James Harden, other than the fouls. You know, I say he gets to the line a lot. He's only been 6 times. It seems like Harden gets to the line more than he does, I feel like, because when he gets fouled, the way he gets foul calls is so irritating and frustrating. And it's really only him and SGA are really like that in today's NBA, the way they bait players into foul calls. And Harden's been doing it for years. I mean, get mad at him all you want, but the guy knows how to draw fouls. All right, we're back in live action here as the Cavs miss a shot there, and the Nuggets will have possession. Really good game from Christian Braun tonight. Got some good stuff on him coming up here after the game. And really another really nice game from Julian Strawther. Cam Johnson looks great. So good stuff for the returning Denver Nuggets as Bruce Brown just missed a shot. Boy, Bruce Brown has really struggled tonight for the Nuggets, as he has really all season. And Donovan Mitchell just gets a layup, 1-point game with 2:45 to go. Jokic with the pass inside the paint to, who is that? Hardaway with the floater, knocks it in. So 113 to 110. Really good pass there from Nikola Jokic. Boy, Nikola has had the slingshot passes going tonight. He's turned a couple of them over, but it seems like he has been trying to do that all night long. It's really starting out at the beginning of the game as Jarrett Allen gets a turnaround layup. Boy, no defense here late in the fourth quarter. 113 to 112, 2:05 to go. As Jokic brings it across the timeline, here comes Jamal Murray. 2-man game. Jamal's going to pump fake and then take the shot off the back of the rim. Bruce Brown, good offensive rebound, gets it back out to Murray. And Christian Braun thought about the three, decides to dump it off to Jokic, who's on the elbow, spins on Allen, gets fouled. Almost made the shot, too. Good play there from Nikola Jokic. He'll go to the free throw line. Boy, Joker has been really good at when Allen has been on him near the elbow or near the painted area. using one hand to get the inbounds and then spinning and turning. And Allen's like grabbing his body, and Joker's just all game, it seems like he's been able to get that shot up. So really good contact balance there from Nikola Jokic. His ability to get those shots off has been quite impressive. Hasn't been able to hit them, but the fact that he's even been able to get these shots up on such a physical player like Jared Allen has been really, really impressive. Oh, so Cleveland's going to challenge this foul call. Okay. Let's see the replay here. So the Nuggets do still have one more challenge. They just challenged, like I mentioned earlier, the foul called on Jonas Valanciunas, the offensive foul that was overturned. So Nuggets win their first challenge. They retain their second challenge. And we'll see if the Cavs win this challenge or not. Here's the replay. Joker spins. Oh, there's no way they're overturning that. Allen got him right on the hip and bumped him to the side. If they overturn this, I would be shocked. Well, they might be looking at Joker's left elbow, kind of chicken winged him. So you can keep the elbow out there. You just can't extend the elbow. So does Joker extend it? Here they're showing the replay. It doesn't, he kind of does just a little bit. Boy, this is going to be a lot closer than I initially thought. This is like a 50-50 call here. Yeah, Scott said he thinks the Cavs are going to win this challenge. Legal spin move, the ref just said. So the Cavs will lose this challenge. Unsuccessful challenge. Okay, so the Cavs are out of challenges. They have to use the timeout. They only have one timeout left. There's still a minute 47 to go in a 1-point game. And Nikola Jokic will go to the line. How about that? Okay, so, again, I always talk about why coaches should save their challenges until late in games. Nothing drives me crazier than a coach using a challenge in the first half, unless it's an obvious missed call. I cannot stand when coaches use their challenges in the first half. Really, you could make a case even for the third quarter. I would save it for the fourth quarter for instances like we just witnessed here tonight as Joker makes the first free throw. So 2-point game. 19 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, another triple-double for the big fella, the 183rd triple-double of his career. Really efficient game from Joker tonight. He's 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and he's now 10 of 12. Okay, so 3-point lead here for the Nuggets, 1:45 to go. Donovan Mitchell will throw up a lob to Allen, who dunks it home. Man, the Nuggets are having a really tough time containing Jared Allen right now. 1-point game. Joker's running the point. He's going to back Allen down. Big physical move. Left-handed floater is good from Nikola Jokic. That was poetic. 117-114. Harden's going to bring it up. And he's probably going to try and draw the foul. Gets it over to Mitchell. He's going to drive in. Kicks it back out to Harden. Tyson from the corner for three. Misses it, and Joker's got the board. You got to run this clock down now. Joker's backing down Allen again. Out to Jamal. He'll send it back into Joker. They like this matchup. Double teamed. Oh, and Joker tosses it away. Cleveland's got it. Donovan Mitchell will drive it in, and he missed the layup, but they called the foul on Jamal Murray, and Murray is incensed. And now he's shaking his head. He's like, wait, that was me? Okay, yeah, I guess it was me. Ooh, man. Not a lot there. I wouldn't be surprised if Adelman challenged this one. Ooh, man, I don't know about that call. Let's see if Adelman challenges this. So they did call it on the floor, so it's going to be a side out. So they don't challenge. Probably a smart move. I wonder if they would have called that a shooting foul, if Adelman would have challenged that. Harden for three makes it. Oh, my goodness. And he fell down to try and draw the foul. Good God. So we've got a tie ball game with 31.4 seconds. Well, now they're going to take a look to see if this was a 2 or a 3. All right, showing the replay here. Let's see. Oh, that's a 3. It's not even close. Oh, well, they might should. Hardaway kind of landed in Harden's landing space. So I wonder if that's what they're going to take a look at here. Nope, not looking at anything. All right, so the Nuggets have it. 20 seconds left, 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Are they going to run this all the way down? They got to, right? So Joker's going to back down Harden. Ooh, good matchup. Now he's getting doubled. He'll send it out to Hardaway for 3 off the front of the rim. 5 seconds to go. Mitchell's going to bring it up the floor. Oh, and he gets fouled, but they're not in the bonus. And it's a blocking foul. So it's going to be side out. Good foul there by Jamal Murray. Smart play there by Jamal Murray. Just 0.9 seconds to go. Donovan Mitchell tried to throw his hands in the air like he was shooting that, but they're not going to call. If they're never called that for Nikola Jokic, they better not call this one. Yeah, that's a really smart play there by Jamal Murray. Oh my goodness, they are going to send him to the line. They're in the bonus now. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so not a smart play by Jamal. Oh no, and Mitchell hits it. Unbelievable. I thought they had a foul to give. Wow. That is a bummer. So 0.9 seconds to go. There's not a whole. The Nuggets can call a timeout, but it's going to. And Mitchell knocks down both. So 2-point lead for Cleveland. Nuggets will call timeout to get a side out. Wow. I thought they had a foul to give. Unbelievable. Well, I thought it was a smart foul, but that put Cleveland in the bonus. Oh, that's tough for Jamal there. That's a tough foul there for Jamal Murray. Unbelievable. That's a tough ending there if that's how it ends. Look, the Nuggets can still get a shot off. I mean, 0.9 is still enough time to catch and shoot. You don't necessarily have to get a tip here, but the inbounds is obviously going to be key. So the Nuggets will play the Grizzlies coming up on Wednesday at Ball Arena, and then they're off for a week for the All-Star break, a team that desperately needs the All-Star break. Boy, I don't know if you caught the Pistons-Hornets brawl earlier tonight. I've got that highlight saved that I want to play. That was wild. That just goes to show you that a lot of NBA teams are ready to go to the All-Star break, I guess. Yeah, Isaiah Stewart is going to get suspended for, I don't know, at least 10 games. He came off the bench and started swinging, so might be even longer than that. We'll get to that here after the conclusion of this. Jamal's going to inbound, and they're going to try to get it to Hardaway. They do have a timeout if they can't get the inbounds here. Into Jokic. He's going to turn and fire short. And that's the ball game. Wow, what a tough ending. What a crap ending for the Nuggets, who played a really good game tonight, and the Cavs get the 119-117 win. Unbelievable ending. I mean, they squandered the lead late. You can't, as bad of a foul as that was for Jamal Murray, the Nuggets had this game well in hand late in the fourth quarter, and they just could not stop Jared Allen on the defensive end. So Joker catches it and just turns and fires, and yeah, that was an air ball. Cavs won at 119-117. Wow, that loss is painful. I mean, this is a game the Nuggets should have had. If they could have played some just okay defense here in the fourth quarter, they would have had the win. I mean, the Cavs scored 32. They outscored the Nuggets by 7 in the fourth. But the Nuggets actually, for the first, 9 minutes of that fourth quarter, the Nuggets were actually playing okay. It was the last 3 minutes where the Nuggets just fell apart defensively, and they fall to the Cavs 119-117. Unbelievable. They're going to go to 14-11 at home. That is insane how bad the Nuggets have been at home this year. I don't know what it is with the Nuggets in Ball Arena this year, they have really struggled on their home floor. They're great on the road. Thank God, because if they were just 500 on the road, this team would be in big time trouble. And that's a bummer because Christian Braun, I thought, had a really good game tonight. 31 minutes, 20 points for CB on 7 of 13 shooting, 4 of 8 from the field. I thought he really looked like he got his confidence back, his swagger back. It looks like his explosiveness is starting to return, which is a great sign. Saw him really running hard in transition tonight. He had some really good transition buckets, and that's what Christian Braun is so good at for this Nuggets team. He led the NBA. People forget Christian Braun led the NBA in transition buckets last year. That's something that the Nuggets have really missed this season. I thought he did a really good job in that area tonight. He was playing actually a pretty good little two-man game there with Nikola Jokic at times throughout this game. Julian Strawther, I thought, had another really good game. In fact, Julian, his start to this game and his first half was phenomenal. He had the first 6 points for the Nuggets tonight. He had 11 of the first 15 points for Denver in this game. In fact, the Cavs got out to a 6-0 lead to start the game, and then it kind of became the Julian Strawther show. The Nuggets went on a 15-4 run after being down 6-0, thanks in large part to Julian Strawther. And they end up leading by 4 after the first. And the Nuggets were really good from the line in that first quarter. They were perfect from the line. Not really good, perfect from the free throw line. They were 9 for 9 from the line in that first quarter. They got off to a great start in the second. Thought their defense was really solid. They were getting a bunch of steals that were leading to transition buckets. They had a 7-0 run to start that second quarter. They led by 5 points at half, 59-54. Strawther was the leading scorer for the Nuggets with 15. Joker had a pretty pedestrian scoring half in that first half, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Jamal, same thing. 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists for Jamal in that first half. So really it was a pretty balanced scoring actually throughout this game for the Nuggets. So look, 5-point lead at halftime. Then you get to the third quarter. There were a couple of so-so foul calls on Cam Johnson that got him into foul trouble. He had 4 fouls. He had to go out of the game. But again, Christian Braun in that third, about halfway through the third, he had 8 points in that third quarter. And like I said, it looks like he's really starting to get his confidence back, and his shot was falling. So that was really a positive from tonight. Was Christian Braun looks like he's starting to round back into form, which was great to see. And the Nuggets actually had a 5-point lead again, just like at halftime after the third quarter. And look, I thought they did a really good job of scoring the basketball, being unselfish in that fourth quarter, and the defense just crushed them. It absolutely crushed them there in the fourth quarter. Joker, I love Nikola Jokic. I think he's actually a better defender than people realize, but for whatever reason, he just had no answer for Jared Allen in the final 3 minutes of that quarter, and the Cavs just were able to close it out. So really, kind of a weird game as far as scoring wise for the Nuggets. It was pretty balanced overall. I mean, Christian and Julian Strawther had 20 points each. Nikola Jokic goes for 22. So there's 62 points right there from 3 of your 5 starters. Cam pours in 10. He gets into foul trouble, so he has to sit. And Jamal Murray pours in 17. And then you get 12 from Val, 12 from Hardaway, 3 from Jalen Pickett, who, boy, I don't know. Jalen Pickett has just lost all of his confidence. I know he hit a 3, what was that, late in the third or early in the fourth. He was due, I guess, because going into this game, Jalen Pickett was 3 for 20 on his last 23-point attempts coming into tonight, where he was 1 of 3 tonight. So I don't know if Jalen Pickett is going to see a lot of rotational minutes here moving forward, unless the Nuggets have more injuries, knocking on wood. But boy, from the Jalen Pickett we saw in the Philly game, what was that, a month or 2 ago? And for a couple of weeks stretch where it looked like Jalen Pickett was really blossoming into like the solidified backup point guard for the Denver Nuggets, he has taken a step back. And whether that's due to uh, guys like Christian Brown coming back, guys like Julian Strother stepping up, Cam Johnson returning, I mean, who knows? But he has just been a shell of himself from what he was for a 3-week stretch when the Nuggets were suffering from all of their injuries, and he just looks like he has lost all confidence right now. So I don't know if he's going to be out of the rotation completely soon. I think Adelman likes him, and I hope he's not, by the way. I mean, I don't want to beat up on Jalen Pickett here because I do like certain things he brings to the table. I've talked about this before. I like the way that he conducts the second unit for the most part. I think he is a true point guard in every respect, and he has the ability to conduct that second unit. Obviously, but man, it's just if he can't knock down open shots consistently, that's going to get you toward sitting on the bench. And the problem with Jalen is he's not missing some highly contested 3-point shots. I mean, these are wide open looks that he is not knocking down. And Katie and Marlo were talking on the broadcast. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. They'll fall. They'll fall. But at some point, you can only trust him so much to keep him in there. And especially with a guy like Julian Strother starting to step up again. I know Julian's a 2 guard and Jalen's a point guard. But if you have to decide between the 3 guards right now between Christian Brown, Julian Strother, and Jalen Pickett, I mean, the answer is pretty obvious right now. These minutes are going to go to Julian Strother and Christian Brown over Jalen Pickett. The way that Julian has been playing over his last 5 games has been phenomenal. I've been very encouraged by his play. Now, again, Jalen Pickett had a run kind of like this too. So can Julian keep this going? We shall see. Boy, I'll tell you what, the confidence from Julian Strother and the lack of confidence from Jalen Pickett is like eye-popping right now. I mean, they're just on completely different planets as far as their confidence in shooting the basketball. Julian's not only shooting the ball outside confidently, but he's taking it to the rim. He's cutting to the basket. We saw him get a couple of reverse side layups tonight from cutting to the rim. So really liked what I've seen from Julian and Jalen Pickett. We'll see what happens. And a guy that I've been pretty critical of all season long. It looked like he was starting to turn a corner, but man, our guy Brucey B has really struggled this year. Really struggled. And talk about a guy that I will say this, he's not he doesn't look unconfident shooting the ball, which is good. You want your guys confident shooting the ball, even if they're on a cold streak. But Bruce Brown, I mean, same thing I just said with Jalen Pickett. He goes 0 of 6 tonight from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. He's not missing highly contested, highly difficult shots. I mean, he's missing wide open looks from the corner. There were, I think on both of his threes, were set up beautifully. One for sure by Jokic. The other one might have been as well. I can't remember. But just beautifully set up in the corner. Nobody near him. Within 10 feet, it seemed like. And he can't knock it down. He's 0 of 6 from the field. He scored 1 point tonight. It came on a free throw. I mean, and you're not knocking down shots. You get to the line twice. You get fouled once. You take 2 free throws. Nuggets fans, I know he's a fan favorite, and I love Bruce Brown as well. But is it time to start having a conversation of how much do you trust Bruce Brown? Now, look, right now they're not going to bench him, and I'm not necessarily calling for that, especially with all of the injuries right now. But I'll tell you what, when/if the Nuggets return to full health, Peyton Watson coming back, Aaron Gordon coming back, man, Spencer Jones. Bruce Brown is getting hard to play right now. He's not giving this team anything on the offensive end. I still think he's playing pretty good defense. He's still rebounding the basketball pretty well. He got a really good offensive rebound tonight. Okay. But when you're pouring in 1 point, shooting 0 of 6 in 25 minutes, you just you can't win like that. You cannot win when you have one of your main bench guys having the lack of production that Bruce Brown has had this season. And again, the thing that is tough for me with Bruce Brown, this hasn't been a cold streak over the last couple of weeks or the last month. This has kind of been all season long is what we've gotten for Bruce Brown. Now, he hasn't been as bad as he was tonight all season. I'm not saying that. But boy, he's really struggled to put the ball in the hoop this year. And I don't know what the answer is for Bruce Brown. I mean, at some point, like it's kind of the same thing with Jalen Pickett. Now they're in a little bit of different categories because Jalen's a very young player with fairly little experience in the NBA. And Bruce Brown has an NBA title and a plethora of experience in the league and a ton of experience playing with this offense and this system. But boy, I just got to say it. I mean, Bruce Brown has just been flat out disappointing this year. Flat out disappointing for as high as the expectations were for him coming back to Denver this year. And I credit Bruce. I mean, he's basically playing for league minimum, vet minimum. So, okay, he's not hurting you salary cap wise, which is great. But the Bruce Brown we saw here in 2023 and the Bruce Brown we're getting this season, I mean, they look like completely different players. I don't understand what's going on here. And the cutting to the basket for Bruce Brown, like where has that gone? It seems like he's kind of just sinking to the corners and taking threes. And that's kind of it we're getting from Bruce Brown on the offensive end. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I'll turn these on here. Sorry, I thought I had the comments on. Man, don't be a downer on Bruce, Dan. I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can be. I'm just going to tell you what I think, and you tell me. Have you been impressed with Bruce Brown this year? Have you been disappointed in Bruce Brown? I've been pretty disappointed in his return to the Denver Nuggets, to say the least. And you got to remember, I'm coming from the context of what we saw in 2023 when he was instrumental in leading this team to an NBA title. I mean, not just a role player. I mean, he was a critical piece on that team. You got to remember how impactful Bruce Brown was that entire season. Not just in the playoffs, in the regular season too, but especially in the playoffs. I mean, he was a critical piece to the Nuggets winning that NBA championship. So the expectations I had for him coming back this year was at least similar to that. I mean, the guy's 29 years old. He's in the physical prime of his career. But boy, something sure has just been off with Bruce Brown this year. And I don't know what it is. He doesn't look like he's suffering from a lack of confidence either. Like, that's what's kind of weird. Jalen Pickett, you can see it. I mean, you can see the lack of confidence right now in Jalen Pickett. He's hesitating on all of his shots. There was a play late in the third quarter where the shot clock was at like 3 seconds. He's got an open look from the corner, and he passes it off, and they get a shot clock violation. Like, Jalen's got to take that shot. That, to me, is a lack of confidence. Bruce Brown doesn't look like he's lacking confidence. He is just lacking production in every single way, basically, on the offensive end, except for rebounding. I still think he's been a pretty good offensive rebounder, pretty good on the defensive glass as well. But this team needs more from Bruce Brown, period. And it's just not going to it's not going to cut it. And they listen, the reason I'm being so hard on Bruce Brown is because I really do believe in order for the Nuggets to truly compete for a title, they're going to have to at least get, 85% of the version of Bruce Brown they had in the playoffs. They're going to have to get somewhere close to that. Right now, they're getting, maybe 50% of the Bruce Brown we saw here in 2023. So, man, it's just, it's tough sledding for Bruce Brown right now. I don't know what to tell you. and it's just a bummer of a loss tonight for the Nuggets. I thought Cam Johnson, he, like I said, he got in foul trouble there early in the third quarter, had to sit. I felt like that kind of disrupted his momentum. Boy, I'll tell you this though, Cam Johnson has looked phenomenal in his return from the bone bruise in his knee. His shot looks super crisp. He looks like he's actually in pretty good conditioning. I mean, he was running up and down the court quite a bit tonight. Didn't look tired, which is kind of rare for a guy who's been out and missed as many games as he has this year. So that's another positive from tonight. I think Cam Johnson has been spectacular in his return. And again, I thought he did a really good job defensively tonight too. I mean, there were several plays, several switches on the defensive end tonight. And I was watching Cam specifically. When Cam is switching on the defensive end, he's doing it with a purpose. He's doing it with intent. It's not like, oh shit, we got to switch now because I messed up I went over the screen instead of under or vice versa. He is switching with a purpose to get a better matchup. And I'll tell you this, there were a couple of switches on the defensive end tonight that Cam Johnson made that ended up leading to a turnover that led to a transition fast break bucket for the Nuggets. So as hard as I was just on Bruce Brown, I was equally impressed with Cam Johnson tonight. I think he's been great. So that was good to see too. So yeah, again, there were a lot of positives from tonight's game. Julian Strawther, another really good game. Christian Brown, probably his best game of the season. Cam Johnson looks good from coming off his injury, and he's just going to continue to get better and better. I thought Jonas Valanciunas actually had a pretty good game tonight. He got to the line 10 times, hit 8 of them. I mean, that's really good for Jonas Valanciunas. I thought he was super physical in the low post. I mean, there were several times where Thomas Bryant, former Denver Nugget, NBA champ, was trying to get physical with Jonas Valanciunas, and Val, you could tell he just had enough and just played bully ball with Thomas Bryant. In fact, there was that one play where Thomas Bryant fell to the floor. Val draws the foul. I thought Jonas Valanciunas was super physical tonight. I really loved what he brought. And again, the Nuggets have been, in my opinion, lacking an element of physicality this season. And in fact, I think that's what's caused them to lose a lot of their games, is a lack of physicality, especially on the defensive end, but even on the offensive end. And I thought Jonas Valanciunas brought the physicality tonight. That was great to see from Big Val. But yeah, and Strawther was really good again. Christian had a really good game. Val, I thought, was good. Tim Hardaway was okay. 12 points off the bench. We've come to expect a little bit more production out of Tim Hardaway, but he was fine. He was fine tonight. I like the balanced scoring from the Nuggets: 22 from Joker, 20 from CB, 20 from Julian Strawther, got 10 from Cam and 17 from Jamal. I mean, those are your 5 starters. That's pretty balanced scoring. You could tell it was one of those games where Nikola Jokic, pretty early on, the way that the Cavs were playing him, decided to be more of a facilitator than a scorer, especially in the first half. I mean, he only had 6 points in the first half. And then he kind of got to work scoring the basketball in the second half. He ends up with 22. So, it's 14 points in the second half for Nikola Jokic. Gets his 183rd career triple-double. Joker goes for 22, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. Again, did have 6 turnovers. Joker, I've said this so many times, but, it's the only area that I feel like it's fair to be critical of Nikola Jokic, is he turns the ball over way too much. That's the one area that Nikola Jokic needs to get better at, is turnovers. And he had a lot of those slingshot passes tonight. A couple of them made for some highlight reel plays. He had a couple to Christian Brown in the low post that led to an easy bucket. So that was great to see. But he's just got to be more careful. He's just got to be more careful with the basketball. And that's a trickle-down effect with Nikola Jokic. When he's careful with the ball, it feels like the team kind of follows suit. And when he's not careful with the ball and he's turning it over a bunch, it also feels like the team kind of follows suit. So tough loss for the Nuggets tonight. Before we get out of here, I did want to play you this brawl in Charlotte and Detroit tonight because this was fascinating. There were 4 ejections in this game, and Isaiah Stewart, boy, he was on the bench. He is going to get a massive, massive fine and suspension from the NBA. I mean, it's one thing to throw a haymaker when you're on the floor, but to come off the bench and do that is absolutely insane. And Isaiah Stewart, this has kind of been his thing. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, Adelman just started talking, so let's hear from Coach Adelman, and then I do want to play that brawl for you because it was it was the best brawl of the year in the NBA. I mean, I love that stuff. So bring it on. As far as I'm concerned, if I were the commissioner of the NBA, there would be no suspensions. Hey, maybe a fine. Okay, fine, sure. But I'm a hockey fan as well, so I like the fighting, and I think the NBA is way too hard on fights in the game. So that's just kind of my 2 cents. All right, let's listen to Coach Adelman here for just a little bit, and then we'll check in on the brawl there in Charlotte. But here's the head coach.
Coach, what happened down the stretch? The offense posting of trying to get Joker to the post. He passes the ball out on multiple occasions. Did you like the decision making in that stretch?
Yeah, I mean, it was also, he was aggressive to go down there. A lot of times we run the pick and roll, resulted in did he get fouled? I don't know. Tim got a great look. He made the left-handed hook over Allen. And so when he's aggressive to go down there and he feels like he has an advantage, we're going to go down there. That's what he does. It was unfortunate. I felt for the guys. We created a lot of open shots. The 41 threes was a good number, in my opinion, tonight, just because of the way they guarded. We just didn't have a great shooting night. And that continued late game when they decided to double him. But, yes, this is a tough loss. It's one of the ones you'll remember at the end of the year. Had control of the game. And this happens in the NBA. I told them in there, it's, this stuff happens. We've won some games like this. The other team's probably looking back on how do we lose that game. But, yeah, we found a way not to execute the last 3 minutes, and we have to be better.
Christian Brown played well tonight. Was this just a matter of making sure he was fully ready to go and could play with confidence?
Yeah, and I thought he shot it with more confidence too. I love that I think he had the stretch where he missed a couple in a row, maybe 3 in a row, then made 2 in a row. He just let the thing go. And we're going to need that from him. 20 points. His minutes were, 32 minutes. He's getting there. He looks like he's in good shape. His conditioning. So, yeah, CB was a bright spot. We had multiple bright spots in that game. It seemed like we would get control of the game, up 8, up 10, and then we give an offensive rebound. They hit a 3. They get to the line. There just was a myriad of things that kept them in the game, and a lot of them were controllable. And the second half, I thought it was the offensive rebounds by them that kept them alive. When you're alive and you have 2 guys like those 2 players in Mitchell and Harden, you have a chance to win the game late.
Given Julian's night, the decision to close with Tim, is it just about veteran experience?
Yeah, and also I like the defensive lineup that was out there. Tim had made 3 threes. It felt like both guys have been really good offensively. Tim has been in this league and switching on to Harden, switching on to Donovan are things he's done. So I was comfortable with that. And the other one that was tough was, do you leave Bruce out there? Do you bring Cam back in? And I went with Cam the last couple of minutes. So, there's veteran guys that have been in these games. Sometimes you go that way. You lose the game, you always look back and say, if I would have done this, what would have happened? But obviously we trusted Tim. He's closed games throughout the season. That's why I went that way.
On the subject of Julian, what has he shown you to earn more playing time lately? And what does it say about the kind of player that he is where you can't trust him to be in the starting lineup after not playing for a while?
Yeah, him, just like the other guys we did that with. I just think his rhythm's been really good. His preparation on off days, and the coaching staff and their opinion matters to me. And we talk about where these guys are at mentally and their, how they prepare daily. And he's found a rhythm, not just in games. It's been, on the off days, playing 3-on-3, 5-on-5, all those things. So, Julian's he's a good version of himself right now. He's confident, he's shooting the ball, which is allowing him to get downhill to his right hand and score. And I thought he competed defensively throughout the night. And that's an area he has to keep improving in. You know, it's something that if you play the better part of the minutes of a game, you're going to play against star players. You're going to have to guard him with all the switching that goes on in our league. But yeah, he's made strides. It's been fun to watch.
Okay, there is David Adelman after the Nuggets fall to the Cavs, 119-117. Yeah, you heard it there. This will be a loss that kind of sticks in the craw for the rest of the season. This was a game that felt like the Nuggets had sort of in the bag down the stretch. And then, like I said earlier, I thought they played pretty well in that fourth quarter until the final 3 minutes where they couldn't execute on the offensive end and they couldn't slow Jared Allen down. And Nikola Jokic had issues slowing down Jared Allen in the low post. And, he's a good player. I mean, I don't want to be too critical of the Nuggets defenders in that sense because Jared Allen, I think he was an all-star just a couple of years ago. He's a really good player for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but just tough to see the lack of execution down the stretch in a game where there were so many positives to take away from this. So really tough to see the Nuggets kind of, blow this one late in the game. All right, last thing before we get out of here. This brawl was awesome for NBA standards, okay? I mean, there's a lot of fake tough guys in the NBA, but I just want to play this whole thing because this is fantastic. This was the brawl between the Detroit Pistons tonight and the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. Guys are clearly ready for the All-Star break. They're irritated. They are done with basketball for the next week. And here is the malice in Charlotte.
Clearly, fouling is not a problem for a good defensive team. And Duran is fouled. Oh, my goodness. And Moose upset.
You got to wait for Isaiah Stewart to come in. This is uh-oh. Bridges is pissed. Look at Duncan Robinson. He's just like, what are we doing? All right, here comes Isaiah Stewart. Watch him fly to the floor right there. Oh, boy. And he's throwing hands, too. Oh, no. Oh, he's going to be gone for a while. He's still trying to go. Look at it's his own teammates holding him back. What are you doing, dude?
And Musa is still upset.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to Musa, but it was something. I've never seen him anywhere close to that emotional.
I just want to go back to Isaiah Stewart running on the floor because this is glorious. What, right here. He comes off the bench. He's not in the game. That's a big no-no. Look at, here he comes. He is flying. And he's just throwing hands. Look at that. Okay, so there was the brawl in Charlotte tonight. Honestly, Isaiah Stewart is a moron. What are you doing? You cannot come off the bench and do that. First of all, you're going to get suspended and fined if you're throwing hands if you're in the game. But boy, the NBA, they don't like you throwing hands, and they especially don't like guys coming off the bench to participate in frivolous actions like that tonight. And Isaiah Stewart has a history of being an insane person. There's that meme of him like literally trying to run through like 10 security guards to get to a player. Happened a couple years ago. This is like, there's somebody in the comments. This is the new Draymond. You kind of. What are you doing, Isaiah Stewart? They call him Beef Stew on the broadcast. I think that is his nickname. Honestly, though, just a complete moron. Coming off the bench to swing on Hornets players. This dude, like, if you remember back in the day, throwback to the Melo Nuggets era, in the Garden, Carmelo Anthony threw a punch And I'm pretty sure he missed on the punch. And then if you remember, he backpedaled like all the way down the court. Okay. Real tough, Melo. He got suspended. I think it was 25 games for that. He swung one time and he missed the punch. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if he connected or not, but either way, and he was in the game. So what is the suspension going to be like for Isaiah Stewart? And let's not forget, like, this is a guy that he is a solid rotation player for the Pistons, who are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. I mean, what a stupid decision there from Isaiah Stewart. Honestly, that is insane. That is so ridiculous that he did that. And boy, for NBA standards, he deserves to have a long suspension. Now, in my opinion, should he be suspended? Yeah, maybe a couple games. I think the NBA is too hard on instances like this. I think the NBA overreacted to the Malice at the Palace, which was a bad situation, okay? When you get fans involved, I mean, clearly, that you never want that. But I do think the NBA sort of overcorrected after that because that was such a bad incident. The reason it was so bad is because the fans got involved. I didn't see any fans getting involved in this tonight. So, you can't really compare that to the true Malice at the Palace between the Pacers and the Pistons. But they had the Pistons involved again, and Isaiah Stewart ran out onto the court like a madman and decided to start swinging on any Hornets player he could find. So, look, I thought it was damn entertaining. It's my opinion and my belief that I think the NBA should allow two dudes that want to fight. They should duke it out for 30 seconds at center court. They have to go sit out for 5 minutes. Boom, they're back in the game. Hockey rules. I mean, that's what I would like to see in the NBA, but that's never going to happen. So just wanted to end on a little bit of an entertainment note for you all tonight. So that's going to do it for the post-game show. Really just bummer of a loss for the Nuggets. Deflating loss with just 2 games to go before the All-Star break. They had a chance to go in with some pretty good momentum after beating Chicago in Chicago. Should have won the game tonight. Couldn't execute in the final 3 minutes. Couldn't play a lick of defense in the final 3 minutes. And now they got to beat Memphis on Wednesday to try and ride a win into the All-Star break. So that's when we'll catch you next. We'll be back for Nuggets and Grizzlies reaction. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Dan Tanner, and we'll be back with another edition of In the Paint coming up on Wednesday. We'll see you then.